Everyone, welcome to this brief power bank special that I just thought I'd stop and make. Basically, these power banks charge mobile phones, and I use them in quite a few different projects I've been working on. So I thought I'd stop and point out some of the perks and some of the negatives of what I've noticed so far while using them. The first thing I've noticed with these single cell Tonbucks is that at the inside them there is a cell, an 18650 cell like this, and you can see here the negative and here the positive. And what I've done with this one is I've took a little PCB board off the top, and the little PCB board was there, so the 3.2 volts that this cell is discharging goes into the PCB board, which then steps it up to 5.2 volts, so you can then charge your mobile phone with it. So you can see here that at the top the large USB is for the power out to charge your phone, and at the bottom there is the USB to actually recharge the thing once you've used it. It's supposed to be 2,200 milliamp hours. The reality of that is it's never really that, let's be fair. It's usually more about 1,800 milliamp hours, maybe 1,900 milliamp hours. I think Renault Super Genius did the same check, and I think he got about 1,700 milliamp hours, so it sounds about right. And basically these are perfect because they're small, and I've used these, for example, on my truck. This one here is running the wireless camera at the front of the truck, and you can see here where I've used it on my tank. So these little things here, they do come in handy. They're small, they still hold a bit of capacity for the size and the weight. They're pretty useful. The only problem is that they are small, so they're not going to last forever if you're, sucking milliamp hours. Everything will run at 5.2 volts off this thing, but the more milliamp hours it sucks out, the faster the thing will go down. So it's not going to last very long. This one is the same. I've never looked inside this big thing, but I'm pretty sure that inside it's going to be the same. Little USB board at the top, little one's going to be the charge in, big one's the charge out. I tried to use this thing and it never worked again. I think I shorted it by accident. Usually if you short them, you can just plug the in wire in at the bottom again, then pull it out, then push it in again, and it resets it and you can use it like normal. But this one just died, so I don't know whether I'll open that up or I'll start poking with the wires now it's had some time and probably gone dead, see if the static's gone out of it something, and hope for the best on that one. But I wouldn't recommend this one. Didn't like the real shape of it. You can't break it open very easily. This one, if you can get into it, you can just unscrew it and get access to it. This one is particularly tight though. I can't even get that, and I'm just going to trash more metal filings off the thing if I go at it with the grips to show you. So basically take this one over this one, because this one lasted 5 minutes and died, and these are like £4 each, and even if they die it's not the end of the world, but they're actually quite reliable. What's also good about this little Tonbucks thing, that comes in many different names and sometimes comes without a name at all, like you can see on this one that I have opened earlier, that there's no name on it. I've seen Lifeline on these, and I've seen them blank, and Tonbucks and a few others. But the thing with these ones is, when you're using them for something, if your appliance to it, of wherever it's going to, is plugged into the thing, this will constantly send out electric to it. There's no clever circuit in it that'll say, oh, it's not sucking any electric, this device that's connected to it, so turn it off. It'll simply just send out electric to it whether it's being used or not, the appliance, and if the appliance isn't being used, then no electric will be used, no capacity will be used from the cell itself. And if it does need electric, it'll start sucking it and then it can get it. And I pointed that out because what you find with this one, for example, this one is a multi-cell power bank, The solar cell on the top looks cool, is what the reason why I got it. And you can see under the halogen light, maybe you can get that. Under the halogen light, it turns on and tries to recharge itself. It's fully charged at the moment, so you know it's not charging or anything, it's just showing full light. Probably even burning the extra electric off that it's gaining, the extra wattage capacity it's gaining through the solar, and just wasting it in LED form here. And this one was okay, but it's really light, which says that it's not got much capacity in. It was rated at 10,000 milliamps, which is probably really generous for this thing. It's probably more like friggin' 8,000 milliamps or something. It's quite low. It's very useful to recharge it under the sun if you're out and about, and even the halogen, it's handy, so I'm not having to plug it into the wall all the time to charge it. The 2 amp hour socket here is useful. The 2 amp socket here is useful, and the 1 amp socket's useful. 2 amps good if you know, like for quick charging a mobile phone, but it works for other things. The only thing is the capacity is really noticeably poor. I used one of these on my electric bike the other day, and it did run for an hour or two, but compared to this trusty old 12,000 milliamp hour battery, which is still heavy, it's always been heavy, this one, where this one, the 10,000 milliamp hour, runs out in say 2 hours, this one keeps going and it's still got 2 bars on it. So you know that where this is supposed to be 10,000 milliamp hour, it's probably more like 7,000 milliamp hour or something, and where this is 12,000 milliamp hour, it feels it. It's probably like 11,000 milliamp hour. So this one does have better capacity compared to this one. But the thing is with this one, the solar one, what happens is if something's plugged into it, unlike the small one where these little single cells where the electrical still come out regardless, this one will say, oh, is there no electric being used after a few seconds? Okay, then just turn off. Which sucks, because if you've plugged something in there and you then want to leave it so it's not being used, and then after half an hour then use it, like some lights on my bike or something, bloody thing's off, because it's not had any pull on the thing, so it's turned itself off because it's thinking it's being helpful, probably with some PCB magic in here. So that's a bit disappointing. But this one here, this one's great. I mean, if you plugged something into this and turned it on with the little button at the bottom, the little button shows you the capacity here, but also you can see that it's got the USB out and the 1 amp and the 2 amp socket again. Different USB in on this one, but with the weight, and considering that when you plug something in, this one stays on, I'd say this is the best power bank if you're after capacitor and reliability. This one's a few years old. 12,000 milliamps probably isn't, but you know, when they list these things, they list them as a capacity of amp hours at 3.2 volts, but because all of these are stepping the output voltages up to like 5.2 volts, the capacity automatically is reduced because the voltage is increased. So you never actually, even when you have to like 12,000 milliamp hours, you look at it and say, it's going to charge my phone, it's 5.2 volts is what it pumps out, a 1 amp and a 2 amp out. It should charge my phone fine with 12,000 milliamp hours of capacitor, but automatically, because it's been boosted up to 5.2 volts, it's not even that from the start. The moment you bought it, it was like 5.2 volts, say 8,500 milliamp hours, and which is probably similar or the equivalent to 3.2 volts, 12,000 milliamp hours. It's just a bit tricky marketing they're using in China, I think, to get around the rules, especially probably for eBay. Basically, but this is the daddy of the power banks. This one really is weighty and it suits its purpose. If you live in a sunny climate, this is probably going to do you a couple of these. That'd be really useful. But in England, because we don't get any sun anyway, and these things pointless in the winter, they're solars. I'm going to stick with this one, and for the little projects I'll stick with this one, because this one compared to that one was far better quality. This one's, the left one, the black one's capacity wasn't very good anyway, and the red one you can always get access to if you want to chop it down and use it for different things. But yeah, I hope the little selection here and array of power banks gives you an idea of if you're wanting one for A, your mobile phone, and B, if you want to start kind of modding these things for any of the projects you're working on. I thought it was a cool little vid to stop and make. So please leave your comments. I always love to see them and read them. I will get back to you. Please give us some thumbs up, because you know I'm hoping this stuff is useful in the share. And if you've come across me randomly, please subscribe. I'm always coming up with random stuff, and you never know, one bit or the other might be useful in your own projects, or it might just be worth having a look, you know, because it could have a bit of interest. So thanks guys, and I will see you later. Take care.